those who don't know me, my name is Elin, and...
You have to speak louder. They can't hear you in the back.
What's your name? Sorry.
So, the author for 2nd John was John. The time written was probably about 80, 90 from Ephesus. It's the 63rd book in the Bible, 24th book in the New Testament, 19th of the 21 epistle books, Romans the Jude, and then there are 3 books to follow. There's 1 chapter, 13 verses, and 300 words. The time that takes to read it is 1 minute and 55 seconds. Yes, I did count.
You're reading that fast.
It's small. It's like one of the small ones. Okay, and then John wasn't named in the book or any of the books at all. And then the book could have fit on 1 piece of paper, which is what they used as paper. Wow. Those are my 12.
That is fine.
Okay, she said when it was written and where. So, the title in the first, like in the greeting, it says to the chosen lady and her people. I originally, before doing this wonderful project, thought that it was written to like a woman who had a house church. And one resource that I read said that's what they thought it was. But most of them said they thought it was probably a local church, and then the congregation and not a specific lady. The church was somewhere in Asia Minor, but there are no specifics in the book. The issue that John was writing because of is there are false teachers claiming that they were Christians, but they were refusing to acknowledge that Christ had a physical body, and they were teaching others to believe that, so they weren't saying that he was a human, as well as fully God. John was writing to urge this church to stay strong in their faith and true to his, the actual gospel. And he warned them to not support teachers who weren't teaching the full deity and humanity of Christ. During this time, traveling teachers were invited to stay in homes of church members, and that was one that they could support them in that way and encourage them, but then also like innkeepers and stuff were really dishonest. So false teachers were trying to take advantage of that and stay in Christian homes as well and then speak falsely. So John was warning them to be wary of these teachers and not allow them into their home. And as Ellen said, John, and no one specifically by name is mentioned or place. And this is possibly because there was persecution going on, and he didn't want anyone to get in trouble, like specifically naming them. Hey.
Welcome.
What's your name? Christy. That's important. Okay, so I have the outline and theme. And the first part of the book is the greeting, verses 1-3. And then verses 4-6 talks about walking in truth and love. And then like the third part, verses like 7-11, talks about beware of false teachers. And from verse 8, it says, don't lose what we've worked for. And that pertains to what God has done in our lives. And we're not supposed to let false teachers intervene in our sanctification. And then verses 12-13 is the final greeting. And then the theme is walking in love with others who have accepted the truth. And the truth is the gospel. And we walk in love through the gospel with... Okay, hold on. I worded this really weird. We walk in love through the gospel with others who have accepted the gospel. After the greeting, the first half of the letter focuses on encouraging those in the church to walk in truth and love. And the second half, before the final greeting, focuses on warning the church against false teachers. And like Emily said, the false teachers were partially teaching on against the incarnation of Jesus, saying that he wasn't fully human. And John is warning us not to extend ourselves to accept false teachers, because they could, like, basically mess up what we know to be true, which would be, like, the incarnation. And, oh yeah, like, I think pretty much the book is supposed to bring us back to the gospel and not, like, let us fall into legalism, focusing on works.